All right, let's begin. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right, let's begin, inshallah. Okay. Okay. أحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما اللهم فقهني في الدين. Okay, so yesterday we talked about note taking a bit, and I felt like some of you were a bit overwhelmed by note taking. How many of you are finding it difficult to take notes today? Just one of you? And the rest of you are okay? Yeah, okay. Is there anybody who's typing notes today or prefers typing? No, we're all writing? Okay, so we do encourage you guys to take notes by hand, but I will quickly go over a few points for the online students if they're typing their notes. And if you are finding it difficult for some reason that you're not able to write, then you can speak to one of the TAs or teachers, and inshallah, then you'll be granted permission to use your laptop to type notes, okay? So quickly, in a few minutes, I'll just go over that, show you a few examples of digital note-taking, and then we can discuss a few points. Okay. Okay, so this is for all of you. When you start taking notes, right? Just remember it's a skill. It is possible that some of you haven't been in school for a while, or while being in school, you don't really take a lot of notes. Just remember it's a skill and it's going to take time to develop. So you might not be very good at it today, but the more you take notes, the faster you will get, the easier it will become for you. Okay? Sometimes your hands might hurt a little, right? So don't forget to just put down your pen, stretch it out a bit, and then you can start writing, okay? We get a lot of students' hands are cramming. Water helps with that. So drink some water, it will help with your muscles. And one of the reasons why we take notes is that we want to organize the information you're retaining, right? So your notes might look really messy at first, especially in your books. When you're handwriting, you might make a mistake, right? With online or typing, it's easy because you can erase it, you can center it, it looks very pretty. But when you're writing by hand, it might look really messy. You might feel like, you're making a lot of mistakes. It's okay. You will get better, okay? Inshallah, we'll show you a few examples. We'll bring our books and show you. So you can take a look at our notes and you'll see that the first time we took notes, they weren't pretty at all. Okay, so if you make a mistake, don't worry. Don't be scared. Don't think you're going to mess it up so you don't want to take notes. And then you're going to go home and then probably listen to the recording and then take notes. Just take your time, start taking your notes, and inshallah, as you go through, you will get better, okay? So if you're typing, a lot of you don't really type in Arabic, right? A lot of you might not even be writing in Arabic right now. Is there anybody who's writing the Arabic in English here by hand? That's fine. Okay, that's fine, because it's hard, right? If you're not fast at it, it's bad enough because you feel like you're missing out. So, just make your own spellings when you're using Arabic letters. So for example, for the letter Ain, okay, I usually write an A, but before that I put an apostrophe. That's just something I do. Some people, they use the letter 3. Okay, so whatever you're comfortable with, whatever is easier for you, it's okay. So you can help differentiate whether it's a Hamza or an Ain sound that you're using if you're writing in English. For the Hamza, I usually just put the letter A and then I just put a dash. Okay, and that just helps me figure out it's in Hamza. Okay, so you can really figure out what you want and then stick to that. Okay, so every time you're typing your notes, make sure you write Ain the same way, you write the Hamza the exact same. Okay. What I do to take notes is I actually make a template. So I can show you, for those of you who are going to be typing your notes, this is the template I create before coming to class. So if you look on your schedule, it will tell you what verses you will be covering for the next class, okay? Always write the title, whether you're typing or writing it by hand, always write the date. I always give a heading of introduction or review, because sometimes Sister Maryam, she'll just review what you did the day before and quickly go over the points there. This is also helpful to help you retain your information. You know, a lot of times you'll find Sister Miriam review and then you might feel like I don't have to take notes because I learned this yesterday, right? But when she goes over the review, it's like basically summarizing what you learned the day before, right? So if you write that, that will help you absorb the information. So it's like whatever you learned yesterday, today you will learn the summary of it and that will help it stay in your brain. Okay, so even if she's going through a quick review, I would suggest just a few points here and there of what she's saying, okay? So that's a good way of helping you review. And then what I do is I create this template beforehand. Okay, so for example, let's say this one says Al-Baqarah verses 8 to 16. That's my lesson for the day. What I'll do is I will, before I come to class, I will write verse 8 and I'll copy the translation. So as you know, we use the Sahih International Translation. I'll just copy it and paste it beforehand and I'll just code it in red. So I know that this is exactly the translation, the running translation. And then under it, I've put the bullets already. So I just have to quickly take notes. Okay. So let me show you an example of one of my templates. Notes. Don't get scared. Sometimes people write a lot. Okay, so the one I'm going to show you has a lot more notes. So if you're not writing as much notes, it's fine. Okay, you know that if you're typing, you're faster, you're going to take more notes. So this is an example. What I did was I copied, let's say this is Ali Imran verses 45 to 63. I copied all the verses. So from 45 all the way till 63, I just copied the running translation. Okay. What I do is sometimes you'll notice that a verse in English has a lot of sentences. So for example, verse number 47 in English, I actually have a lot of sentences here, right? So what I would do is I would just break it down. So this is the first part. This is one sentence. I would just stop here, okay? And then I'll just take the next sentence and just break it down. That way my notes are organized because there's a lot going on in this one. So even though it's one ayah of the Quran, in English, there's a lot going on. So if you just write notes all over, you might get confused. Sometimes there's pronouns being used, right? Like for example, he, right? So now you're like, okay, who is he referring to? So as we're going through the translation, as we're going to the tafsir, I will break that down and write it sometimes who this he is referring to. Okay, and I will show you an example of the template being filled out. Sorry, just a lot of windows today. Okay, so this is my template of the same verse, and here I filled out in the notes. Okay, so when I type the word analysis at what this word means, I usually just write it in English and then I just highlight it yellow. So here I know that this word mas is something the Ustadha went through, and this is what it means. Okay. And then I just add what the pronouns mean sometimes. For example, here, he, what I can do is just put in a bracket and say this is refers to Allah. Okay, that's what I'll do, just in bracket. And maybe I'll just not make it red, make it black to show you that this is something I added myself, right? Because when you're listening to your tafsir, you know, it's easier to figure out the pronouns. But when you're going through it, perhaps you're referring back to it. It might be a little confusing, so that can help you figure it out, okay? So it takes a bit of time, you know, to create this template, but you'll realize it'll help you take your notes better. That's just for online. If you're doing it by hand, then, you know, inshallah, you can figure out a way and make it work. Okay, so coming back to note-taking and studying. I think a lot of you are overwhelmed with the memorization part. How many of you found it really difficult to retain what you memorized? I get so many students, you know, they know their lesson, but when they come here, they blank out. Or when it's their turn, you just blank out. You feel like you can't remember. I just want you to know that, you know, memorizing, it's also a skill. Okay, you'll memorize something, you'll forget. That's human nature. We forget over time, right? That's why reviewing is important. But at the same time, the more you memorize, the faster you'll actually become at it. Okay, so if you're forgetting, that's fine. A lot of the words will repeat, but also you'll develop the skill of what it means to memorize. You know, we live in a world where we don't have to memorize anything. Like, how many of you actually know your phone number? You have it memorized. If you ask me, I'll take my previous phone number and my current one and I'll just mix it together. Like, still, I don't know why I keep doing that. Or if you have a credit card, do you have the whole number memorized? How many of you knows a number of maybe a parent, one parent? Okay, yeah. Sometimes we don't even know the passwords, you know? We save it on our laptops and computers. So if you log in from a different device, you're like, uh-oh, what was my password? And then you have to reset your password, right? So we just live in a world where memorization, it's like we're losing that skill. The brain doesn't know how to memorize. because everything is so readily available. So if you're learning your lesson and you're forgetting, also understand you're human. It's okay, right? Some people might be faster than you, perhaps because they are memorizing. Some people naturally have a stronger memory. You can develop your memory over time. So if you can't remember things, it's fine. It's something that can be worked at, right? We talked about, the timings of when you should memorize, the du'as you should start with, but just be patient with yourself. A lot of times we're very quick at judging ourselves, or we compare ourselves to other people, right? She did it so fast. She's so good at it. And we conclude, I'm not good at it. I hear that from my students. That's true. I'm not good at memorizing. I'm good at reciting, but I'm not good at memorizing, right? And I always tell them, how much time did you give yourself before you made that judgment call, right? So don't be too hard on yourself. That's why we do this every single day. We have groups every single day. We're not here to discourage anyone else, right? We're not here to put other people down, but just be patient with yourselves, okay? You guys, don't feel overwhelmed. It's okay. Reviewing is important. When I have to memorize something like a dua or maybe a part of a page where I just can't get it right, I usually just take a picture of it and put it as a screen lock on my phone. Because every time I have to open my phone, I see it. And I tell myself, before you can get through the password, get this right. Do you know how many times you open your phone? Like every few minutes, you're opening your phone. You don't even realize it, but you are opening your phone. So when I had to memorize that dua and I just couldn't get it in, that's what I did. I told myself, okay, say it once. You don't have to memorize it, just say it once before you open your phone. And I had to say it like 20 or 50 times in a day. You don't realize how much you're touching your phone, but that's how much you are. They'll make you do it. Okay, so find tricks, right? Just to read over it. You don't have to sit there and, go at it again and again and again until you have it perfectly memorized, because you'll forget. And that's fine. It's human nature. Sometimes we think we have to be so perfect, and if we can't be perfect, it doesn't count. Anything less than perfect doesn't count, right? And work with your time. Sometimes we think that I need to be, done every single thing and then sit down and just study. This is my study block. I need that 2 hours straight. Some of you have other responsibilities. You might be mothers, you might be wives, you might be kids, you have school, or you have to help your mom with housework, or your younger siblings, or even older siblings. And you might not get that chunk, or even when you do, somebody disturbs you, right? And you're thinking, this is my study time, I have to study. But be smart about it. I used to go to university while I was doing this. You know what I would do? I would take my book with me, and while I waited for the bus, even if it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I would open it up and I would start reciting. I wouldn't get through the whole lesson, but that's okay. I memorize what I can. Or I'm standing in line for groceries, right? Sometimes it's a 5-10 minute wait. I start memorizing, right? I teach kids sometimes, and if they're late, even between their time slots, if I get 2 or 3 minutes, I just open my book and I start revising, right? So don't think that you have to find a solid 3-4 hour block to get this done. Find time wherever, and you will see that you will find these little chunks of time everywhere, between your chores, maybe before you go to bed, when you wake up, right? And your phone works the best, believe me, if you tell yourself, because the thing is, we check our phones all the time, especially if you're really active on social media, you'll go through it a lot, right? If you can just tell yourself, go through it once, go through one page before you check social media, right? You'll find that you're actually doing it. You'll find yourself very, very consistent at it too. So don't be discouraged if you can't remember anything, okay? And use your time wisely. If you can't find big blocks, that's fine. It's these small chunks that will help you. And your revision will be quicker, you'll see, because you'll find yourself looking over some word or the other every few minutes, okay? And like I said, it's okay. Take your time, be patient. A lot of you get scared, and so did we. I remember when I started it, I used to think, I cannot do this. Like, this is not working, right? Because sometimes we're so concentrated on remembering the Arabic that you forget the English. And then the same word means different things at different places. And you're like, wow, I have to remember multiple meanings for the same word now, right? But inshallah, it'll come. Okay, so take your time. Don't worry about it. We're only here to help you and make this easier for you. Okay, does anybody have any questions, or anybody overwhelmed? It'll take you about, I think, good 4 or 5, and you'll get to the 4th or the 5th juz before you start feeling like you're getting the hang of it. Honestly, nobody tells you that. You feel like you need to be good at it the next day, or it's been a week. It'll take you, maybe 2nd, 3rd, but definitely by 5th, you're going to start feeling like, yeah, I'm definitely getting the hang of it, okay? So give yourself that time and space and just keep practicing, okay? Practice doesn't make perfect, but it definitely makes permanent, okay? So the more you practice, the easier it'll get. You can do it in your sleep. Literally, it becomes like that, okay? So some of you still look a bit worried, yeah? But it's okay. Be kinder to yourself. I think we forget to be kind. Either we're too lenient, we don't care, we have excuses, or we become too hard on ourselves. Okay, so be easy on yourself, inshallah. Okay, I'm just gonna call Sister Sarah to come just share a few tips and maybe her experiences. Yeah, to share with you guys. All right. I'll give it to her. So I can need the slides. No, not sure about it. Mhm.
Um, Sorry about that. I was muted this whole time. Yeah, so if you notice the discussion that is prompted from your comment, all the things that Sister Miriam shares, how fun is that time right after the lecture? So I recommend everyone just give it a try, okay? Share something that you just thought was really interesting or that it stuck out to you or whatever it is. The last thing I wanted to say is, actually, I think that was it. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. Right, wrong one. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, so I hope everyone has had a chance to log into their portal by now. If you haven't, please do that soon. Oh yeah, let me have a couple of minutes. Okay, so when you scroll down, you will find Tafsir class is Quran 101. So you click on that and what you'll find is the roots and singulars over here. And this document is going to be uploaded the night before. So Okay, and just a reminder that this portal, what I'm sharing right now, this is only for the Canadian students. So if that's relevant to you. Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is going to be shared the night before, and like Sister Sunda showed you guys the template of note taking, that's not only for if you're using a laptop. Even if you have physical notes, if you look at this beforehand, at the beginning, I recommend just printing out the paper. That was really helpful for me. If that's not necessary for you, you don't have to do it. But if you kind of fill in the words, the roots, then when you come to class, all you have to do is add to it. And this is part of active listening in class. The way that you become an active listener is when you already primed yourself for the information, so your brain is looking forward to it. Okay, so you've already written down the words that we're going to be covering today, so you're expecting that. So then when Sister Maryam mentions the word, your ears perk up and you're going to write that down. This is going to also really help, just bring that energy in class. I know sometimes, you're getting that morning energy crash. So this is just another helpful tip. The reflection questions and action points are found here. It's like it'll take you to a link and you'll find a slideshow where all of those are posted. They also can contain extra material or additional resources on whatever lessons we covered. So make sure you check that out. And then the tafsir slides are going to be posted here. These are going to be posted after the class. So for example, the slides that you saw in class today, they'll be posted tonight, inshallah. Another couple of resources I want to bring your attention to is this PDF on touching or reciting the Mus'haf during menstruation. This is really important and really interesting too, to also know. So I highly recommend everyone read this on your own time. If you have questions about it, you can bring it to your TA during groups. And yeah, I think this is really important if you have concerns about holding the Mus'haf in groups, because we're going to be doing it every single day. And you also have to do your lessons every day. So if you have any concerns about that, it will inshallah clear that up. Does anyone have any questions? Do you suggest keeping a binder? I personally didn't keep a binder, but again, if that works for you, if you have a lot of loose papers, if you plan on printing materials or if you things like that, then sure, a binder could be really helpful, inshallah. Oh yes, the timetable. Thank you, Sister Marine. Let me show you where you can find the timetable. So you go back to My Al Huda. That will be under general information, TQE 12. This is gonna take you to the timetable link. Make sure you look at that every day, just so you know what books to bring with you, because not every course is covered every single day. So, and you don't want your backpack to just be filled with too many books. So, and you also don't want to forget your books at home when you do need it. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see in the chat box. Yes, so the other portal looks completely different. Yes, okay, so yeah, this is only for Canadian students. I believe whoever is in charge of that, they can help you with your US portal, inshallah. Anyone have questions on site? Oh, okay, we're way past time. I'm so sorry, I don't want to take more of your lunch time. So we'll just end here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair, my dear teachers. All right, before you all go, inshallah, I'd like to just make a quick announcement. Inshallah, please bear with us here onliners, inshallah. Your attendance for groups is very important. And this is a message from Al Huda Canada Institute online sisters to please attend your groups, because your group in charges, your TAs, teaching assistants will mark your attendance. Okay, so did everyone get it? Especially those who are Canadians online. Okay, and of course, US onliners as well. It's important to attend groups. Okay, Alhamdulillah. All right, I'm not off the hook as yet. I'd like to invite Sister Solange. She wants to quickly share some templates, okay, inshallah, which upon administration's permission will be put up on the portal, inshallah. So please bear with me. Sister Solange. You can.
Okay. Yes, I was just waiting for the opportunity to share my screen. Okay. Assalamu alaikum again. So we have these. Sorry, move the chat. So we have available these note-taking templates, which were designed so that students can focus on the lesson rather than setup. So they're used for courses like Fahmul Quran or Ta'limul Quran. So you will just put your course information here. So there's 30 files. They're Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word files. And you've got Juz 1 and then Surah Al-Fatiha. You can see here, there's notes about the surah. Then there's the Arabic text, the Sahih International Translation, which is the one that is in your textbooks, and then space for notes. So there are bullets, so you can just keep typing your notes. And you can copy if the lesson is about Lafzul Jalala, for example, you can put it here and then put your notes right underneath like this. So this has been done to make things easy, as I said. And the text has been taken from Tanzil.net and it's fully credited to them. The copyright notice is there. So Sister Mariam Wasti has approved these templates, so you can feel confident that you're in good hands, inshallah. These will be uploaded to your student portal so you can make use of them. And keep them, because whenever you take a Quran course in the future, you'll be able to benefit from them. That's it.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Solange. Inshallah, my dear sisters, we'll meet you back here at what time? Can someone tell me what's the time that you'll be back here? At 2:45. Excellent, Reshma. 2:45 EST. Okay, and that will be to announce for your groups, inshallah. If you don't have groups, then you don't have to come back to this room. Okay, if you have groups and you're not sure what to do after 2:45, yes, that's what it is. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah